Addressing allegations made by Mr. Vincent Mc Doom, Director of the Saint Lucia Tourist Board, Louis Lewis, told the news conference that the board refrained from making any statements because it did not want any controversy over the Hot Couture fashion show to overshadow the Saint Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. Mr. Lewis says that the board exercised a great deal of restraint.
When I look at the feedback from that presentation, that was the show in which we had the greatest positive feedback. There's only one dissenting voice, and if I heard one, was from Mr. Mc Doom himself. But there are things within the whole statement and his whole, dialogue, his public discourse, which really, as a board, we would not want to encourage or be associated with. And there is intent by the design in which some of his reactions, came out.
Mr. Lewis also criticized what he described as a lengthy documentary news item, which he says was inserted on the morning before the Hot Couture show, with no attempts made to obtain a balancing feedback from the tourist board.
A lot of disparaging remarks were made about the organization, and I think after 22 years or 21 years of hosting this event, some of those things are just so far from the truth that sometimes I wonder if it's even worth validating. The other issue is that in the creativity that, and I must emphasize that I think Mr. Mc Doom is very creative. He's very passionate. His heart is in the right place. The unfortunate thing is that he sought to make himself the center of attention, and having failed, people's characters were assassinated in the process.
The tourist board director further stated that a great deal of disapproving remarks were made about the organization, which were far from the truth.
I think Mr. Mc Doom is very creative. He's very passionate. His heart is in the right place. The unfortunate thing is that he sought to make himself the center of attention, and having failed, people's characters were assassinated in the process. He made some statements about the integrity of the board, which I will defend.
Despite the controversy over the Hot Couture show, by all indications are that the inclusion of the arts in the rebranded Jazz Festival went well for the island, with over 3,000 more patrons attending the event. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecile Actille.